Witch of Envy. The Witch of Envy, Satella, was easily the most powerful among the witches of sin. Despite taking in the witch factor of envy and developing an authority of envy, she was actually incompatible with the witch factor, which resulted in the creation of a separate personality known as the Witch of Envy. Whereas one personality was fairly approachable, her alternate personality was the embodiment of envy, possessive and remorseless, capable of easily slaughtering people en masse without a shred of regret. The capabilities of her authority of envy remain unclear, although she was also noted as a capable yin magic caster, able to control shadows in terrifying manners, and having immortality so seemingly flawless that not even the great sage Flugel could conceive a method to bring about Satella's death. The Witch of Greed, Echidna, had a thirst for knowledge that was never quenched regardless of how much she learned. In life, the bountiful wisdom she offered attracted many great men and women to earn her favor. She created the artificial spirits, Puck, Beatrice, and Echidna, for an unknown purpose. However, Puck was made to watch over Amelia and made a vow with Puck that forbade him from forming a contract with Amelia on his own. Echidna created the Ryuzu copies, such as Omega and Sphinx, by using the original Ryuzu mire as a basis for the clones in an experiment to research immortality knowledge to the copies. Her experiment, however, was never completed because she died before she could ever finish it. In her life, Echidna also created some meteors, which are used to the current day. The Witch of Wrath, Minerva, cared about nothing more than healing the physical ailments of wounded or sick people she encountered in her travels. Excluding Satella, Minerva was the most dangerous out of the witches of sin and caused the most damage, although she never actually sought to. Despite her reputation, Minerva was caring and fairly compassionate towards normal people. In the past, people in the world around Minerva were constantly fighting, causing her to cry. Eventually, she realized that crying wouldn't solve anything and decided to train herself in order to gain enough power to be a deterrent to fighting. Her authority of wrath allowed her to heal a person's wounds by striking them with a part of her body. However, the damage healed would be distributed randomly somewhere else in the world. In other words, for every person she saved, another random person in the world would die. Minerva was aware of this, but she never ceased her crusade. The Witch of Sloth, Sekhmet, was the embodiment of the sin of sloth. She was so lazy that she rarely did anything other than relaxing. She was considered the second most powerful witch after Satella, and was capable of defeating every weaker witch simultaneously with ease. She was the least dangerous to encounter and possessed the most common sense of her comrades. Sekhmet was protective of the young witch of pride Typhon. Before she was born, Sekhmet's clan, the Giants, expected things from her, wanting to bring back their founder, known as God. However, after she was born, she disappointed them, causing them to hold her in disdain and abandon her. Many years later, upon hearing of a wild woman in the mountains, men captured her and took her to the city. There, she gained knowledge, a way of life, and emotions. Eventually, not understanding that what she felt was gratitude and obligation, she snapped the necks of the men and left. The Witch of Gluttony, Daphne, had a bottomless stomach that always craved substance. It didn't matter what she ate, whether animals, furniture, or even people. She believed every life should have a fair chance, not just sentient ones like humans. With her power, she created the man-eating monsters known as witchbeasts to end world hunger, though the claim became the Witch of Envy's accomplishment to destroy the world. Long ago, a man afflicted with an incurable disease, afraid of dying, used methods to prolong his life. Daphne was one he used in experiments, eventually succeeding by using her body. In his joy, he undid her binds, leaving her alone in his castle, starving. To sate her hunger, she ate everything in the castle, including the throne, carpets, and what she threw up when needed. The Witch of Pride, Typhon, was a young girl with a naive outlook on the world. The daughter of an executioner, Typhon judged and delivered lethal punishment upon those she deemed guilty. However, her youthful outlook on justice led her astray, as she judged people as guilty, even if they felt only a shred of guilt over something in their past that wasn't worth punishing. As judge, jury, and executioner, Typhon would conduct many massacres, The authority of pride allowed her to sense who felt guilty and completely shatter the bodies of those who did. With her power, Typhon was considered the third most powerful witch after Satella and Sekhmet. She was eventually trapped in the Watergate city of Priestella and drowned by a flood, although another claim suggests Satella devoured her. Her witch factor was inherited by Stride Wallachia. Pride's current holder is unknown. Carmilla, the Witch of Lust, was a timid young woman uninterested in love despite her title. She recognized love's value and helped others see the love they received. Her beauty sparked wars as factions and nations fought to possess her. Echidna called her self-centered, noting she held grudges if harmed or tricked, regardless of fault. Her village, neighboring areas, and country were engulfed in war over her, yet she desired none of it and left to find lost love. Once a normal girl with a fiancé, Carmilla's life changed when a powerful man desired her. Her authority, faceless bride, made others see her as their loved ones, captivating them until they forgot to breathe, often dying. She was burned at the stake or devoured by Satella. Her witch factor passed to Capella Emerada Lugunica. The witch of Vainglory, Pandora, represented one of the two archaic deadly sins, namely the sin of vainglory. She had a distinct lack of empathy and was rarely seen to lose her composure. With her serene nature and unmatched otherworldly beauty, the witch of Vainglory was comparable to a figure of divine origin. Like Hector of Melancholy, Pandora's role in history was unrecorded, and her relationship with the other witches remains ambiguous. Her authority of vainglory allowed her to write events to her liking. With this tremendous power, Pandora could resurrect herself, manipulate the memories and senses of other people, and teleport people to distant locations among many other things. Out of the witches, Pandora was the only one confirmed to have survived the Great Calamity, and has since been involved with the witch cult that is claimed to worship Satella. Her last known appearance was during the Great Conquest 14 years prior to the story's beginning.